back to Conference USA Kickoff presented by Ryan. For the last 5 years, North Texas has been to a bowl, and they've done it under the leadership of head coach Seth Luttrell, and he joins us now from Denton, Texas. Seth, good to have you with us today.
Always great, Ron. Good to see you.
Good to be seen, let me tell you. Now, let's talk about last season just quickly, because a lot of coaches, they had to just kind of learn on the fly. How tough was it, and were there anything positive come out of last year?
Well, I think it was challenging for everybody, throughout the season, going through a week in preparation and understanding that, through that week, you may have some guys that get traced or end up getting COVID and who may be out for that game. And you really never knew until Thursday or Friday. And so there was a lot of games. There was multiple games to where you're going to be out a lot of players, maybe some position groups. At some point in our season, I think we had 43 guys in a stretch line. So that was the challenging parts. I think the great part about it, though, was a lot of young guys got to play in games, got to get that live experience. And so I think, just building for the future, a lot of these guys on this football team have played a lot of snaps. And so I think it gives you that depth and that experience that you're going to need moving forward for the season.
Well, let's talk about your offense, because you led Conference USA in just about every major category. And when we were talking before you went on the air, not going to make a whole lot of tweaks to that offense, but tell us about your offense this season, and especially the quarterback position.
Well, I think, it all starts up front with me on both sides of the football. And I think Coach Blesh has done an unbelievable job with our offensive line, our running backs getting downhill, being able to get into some of the vertical run game and some of the RPOs. And then, you starting to add extra hats to the box. That's when we're going to try to get over the top to, our playmakers outside at the wide receiver. And so Coach Blesh does a great job as our offensive coordinator, along with our whole entire offensive staff. No egos. We all work well together. Game plan great together, and our kids really bought into the tweaks we made coming into this last season, and had a lot of fun with it. And so we're really excited about our group. Austin Ani finished out the year as our starting quarterback, and he's had a great offseason along with that entire quarterback group. And so really looking forward. Now they're out there working kind of in their summer stuff with our strength coaches and kind of getting out there throwing on their own. But I'm really excited for fall camp, getting back to getting an opportunity to work with these guys. And their players look great. They're really excited about this upcoming season.
Does Austin Ani have to work on consistency? Does he need a little bit more of that?
I think everybody does, obviously. And I think the more games he's played, a lot of people don't realize he was out of it for more than 6 years, and he trains like a professional. He's been a professional playing for the Yankees. And I think when you take that long of a layoff, the biggest thing that you have to do is get back and get live reps and for the speed of the game, especially for a quarterback. He's worked extremely hard at it. He's been relentless in the film room this offseason and this summer. And so, and he had a great spring. So really looking forward to this fall. I think with the amount of reps he got this past year, the experience he's gained, the good and the bad, I think is going to really help him moving forward in this season.
He is obviously an incredibly talented athlete. Let's switch to the other side of the football with defense, because you had to make some changes, and you made some difficult decisions at the end of last season. One of those decisions was bringing in one of the most respected, not just coach, but human beings in college football. And Phil Bennett is your new defensive coordinator. Phil's now going to move to a four-man front probably this year?
Yeah, we more based out of a four-man, but we're still multiple, and that's what I love about Phil. He's done it all. He's been 4-2-5, he's been 4-3, he's done 3-3 stack. He's kind of been in a lot of different systems, and with his experience, it was a no-brainer hire for me. Really, really fortunate. That was probably my biggest recruit in the offseason was Phil, and so he's done a great job. He's come in. Players love him. He relates very well with them. He's brought in an unbelievable staff on the defensive side of the ball. They gel very well together, and I'll tell you what, we made a lot of strides this spring. He made it challenging on our offense, which is fun to see. When you're going back and forth, offense, defense, both sides having success. That's when you get excited especially as a head coach. And so he's doing a tremendous job, and just a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it's a guy that brings a lot of experience, not only as a defensive coordinator but as a head coach. And our relationship is great. Back when I was a former player at Oklahoma, just being with him for one season, the way, the relationship that we built has carried over, obviously, for a lot of years. And it's great to have a guy that you can walk down to his office and bounce some of these tough decisions off of, and he's going to give you great advice.
He's one of the great people that I've had the pleasure of knowing in my career. On defense, do you need more disruptive players from the defensive line?
We have talent. There's no doubt in my mind. I feel like we have talent, and I think it's our job as coaches to put these guys in the right situations to be successful. That's what we're supposed to do as coaches, and that's what Phil's going to do a great job with. He's already done it, and I think you'll see guys in some different positions that you haven't seen, but he's going to get them in the right ones. And so we've had a great offseason defensively, and I know our defensive guys, and along with our entire team, they got a chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove that we can go out there and compete.
Well, let's take a look at your schedule, because the first half of the schedule is pretty unforgiving, especially on the non-conference side. You got the traditional matchup. You'll be going down to Highland Park to take on SMU. You also have to go to Missouri, and you can't forget Liberty. This team has got to be ready come September 4th, because, your first conference game's on the 18th.
There's no doubt, and we got to take it one game at a time. We do have a tough schedule, but it'll be exciting. Our guys, we want to go out there and play tough games, and I think it's going to be a great challenge for us early in the season. And what it's going to force you to do is keep you on your toes each and every week. You better be prepared the right way in order to go out there and play. If not, it's not going to look good. And so, again, we're excited about the challenge, and I know our guys are going to work extremely hard. Looking forward to the upcoming season.
Well, Seth, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. I wish you the very best in the 2021 season.
Ron, thank you. I appreciate you.
Deion Noville, the senior out of Abilene, Texas, first team All-Conference USA, also a member of the Conference USA All-Academic team, and he is on a number of preseason watch lists, and Deion joins us now. Deion, good to have you part of the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, new defensive coordinator, Phil Bennett. A lot of us have known Coach Bennett a long time. He's going to go to the four-man front. Does that affect you any, and your thoughts on Coach Bennett?
Well, for starters, I think Coach Bennett is a great coach. He knows his stuff, and he's going to put us in the right position. And as far as the four-man front, I feel like that could only benefit me. Playing a three-down front, I played three-down front like my whole entire time here at North Texas. So now I can get a lot more one-on-ones. It could really allow me to showcase my skills. So I'm excited for it.
There's this one publication I was reading, and I even asked Coach Luttrell about that, and it said that North Texas needs a better disruptor on the defensive line. And of course, Coach Luttrell shot that down, because I watch highlights of you. I would consider you a disruptor on the defensive line. Is that true?
But 100% true, 100% true. Yeah.
And talk about the rest of the players on the line. When they read stuff like that, is that a little fire in the belly type material?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
When you read stuff like that, and some of your teammates, does that put a little fire in your belly?
For sure. Honestly, whenever you said that, I was like, dang, like somebody really said that. But it is what it is. Coach Luttrell always tells us, like, it really doesn't matter, like, what the outside noise is. It's whatever we have, like, in this building, like, we know what we're capable of, and we know our expectations, so we just can't let that get to us. Take it, but take it with a grain of salt. One
thing Coach Luttrell was telling me earlier today, he said, I'm really impressed. The effort the guys have put in the weight room, it's showing. They've gotten bigger. They've gotten bigger than they were last year. Did this team make a bigger commitment coming into this year after last year? You went to a bowl last year, but the record wasn't what North Texas usually has. Was there a bigger commitment, you think, in spring and now?
For sure. And that's actually, like, where I started to take notice of, like, how, like, everybody was coming together and making that commitment of being a better team was in the spring. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in spring, but I saw how everybody was coming together, like being more tight-knit than we've ever become before, and just wanting to get better, and that's a great sign.
One of the things that Coach Bennett has always stressed, even as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator in other places, toughness and technique. Did you hear a lot about that in the spring from Coach Bennett?
For sure. Coach Bennett's main thing, he always preaches knowledge is power, you know? So that comes with toughness and technique, you know? Like if you don't have one, you can't have the other. So him always preaching how knowledge is power, it just kind of lets us know that we have to home in on our technique. And in order to do that, you got to be tough.
Well, Deion, you are tough. We see it in the highlights, and we're going to see it this year for the Mean Green. Thanks for being with us today.
No, for sure. Thank you for having me again.
North Texas led Conference USA in just about every major category on the offensive side, mainly because of their offensive line. Joining us now, offensive lineman Manasseh Mose, the junior out of Euless, Texas, 4th year starting for the Mean Green. And what are the main reasons they were able to put up big numbers this past season? Manasseh, good to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're one of the most versatile linemen, I think, that North Texas and Conference USA has had, because in 2019 you started 12 games at right guard. Last year you made the move to center. How difficult was that transition?
It wasn't as difficult. You know, I think the only transition part in that was having the ball in my hand and playing center, as well as, you know, seeing the field more better as if you're in the middle. But that transition wasn't very hard or difficult. I was able to make it for the betterment of the team and just to help out with the O-line.
Are there more responsibilities from center? I mean, because you always see centers, when they get on the football, they're always pointing over here where the middle linebacker is. Do you have more responsibility at that position?
Yes, at center, I think there's more responsibility as being a leader, a vocal leader. You're making all the calls, making some of the decisions, and as well as getting the whole line on track and on the same page.
Well, you talk about that offensive line. 4 of your 5 starters are back. Do people understand the camaraderie among offensive linemen and how long it takes to actually gel? Because you've got to really know what the guy next to you is doing at all times. Do you not?
Yeah, you do. You know, I think we build like a strong connection off the field. You know, we kind of get together, we go hang out and just, you know, understand each other's personalities and kind of where our mind is when it comes to football.
Okay, you go hang out together. Does this include like going out to dinner, all of you guys together?
Yes.
Do restaurants?
We go on dinner, lunch.
Well, do restaurants kind of shake when they see you guys walk in and go, oh my goodness, no?
Yeah, they just kind of see big dudes walk in and they're just like, oh, now we got to get ready for, you know, to serve all these big dudes. And they, you know, their face, you could just tell on their face that they're just kind of amazed of how many people we come in with.
One final question. How much pride do you take in this offense? Last year, as I mentioned, you led Conference USA in just about every category on the offensive side. And knowing offensive linemen, they take that as a point of pride.
Oh, yeah. Man, we take all that pride. You know, we don't get that much fame as an O-lineman, so if we get any, like, good, you know, what's it called, awards.
You're right.
Like, you know, from our quarterbacks or running backs, you know, those rushing yards, passing yards, that's, you know, that's our credit right there for the O-line, and, you know, we take good pride in that.
And you should, because you were one of the best last year in the conference. Manasseh, thanks for spending some time with us today, and good luck this season.
Thank you, Ron.
All right. We'll continue our Conference USA kickoff presented by Ryan. When we come back, we'll take a look at Southern Miss.